Donald Trump's wild ride of cabinet nominations has continued today with both Congressman Matt Gaetz and former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard landing spots within his administration. So let's start with Gaetz, who will serve as Trump's Attorney General. Let me just say that again. Matt Gaetz was tapped to serve as Donald Trump's Attorney General. Okay, and Gabbard will serve as the Director of National Intelligence. So when it comes to Gaetz, Trump issued a pretty long statement on what he hopes Gaetz will accomplish in his new position. Matt will end weaponized government, protect our borders, dismantle criminal organizations, and restore Americans' badly shattered faith and confidence in the Justice Department. Matt will root out systemic corruption at the DOJ and return the department to its true mission of fighting crime and upholding our democracy and Constitution. Now, hours before the announcement, Matt Gaetz posted something on X that's worth bringing up here. He said, "We ought to have full court press against this weaponized government that has been turned against our people." I don't know if the former president amounts to the people, but that's what he's referring to here. And if that means abolishing every one of the 3-letter agencies from the FBI to the ATF, I'm ready to get going. Okay. Look, I don't know what Gaetz is really gonna do. Should he get confirmed? Should he actually be this country's future Attorney General? I would just warn him. I would just warn him about the fact that, as he's targeting these spy agencies, which I, for the most part, have no real love for. We've also made a lot of enemies on the international stage thanks to the fact that we're aiding and abetting the slaughter of countless Palestinians in Gaza, the West Bank, Lebanese individuals in Lebanon, Beirut. I mean, we might want to be careful in cutting down our spy agencies entirely out of the fact that you have a gripe with them because they went after your daddy. I'm just saying. Now, you probably know by now that Gaetz is being investigated, or at least was being investigated, by the very same department that he will now be the head of should he be confirmed. The Department of Justice investigated the congressman for sex trafficking and obstruction of justice allegations, but ultimately they decided against charging him. We don't really have any clarity as to why that happened. And Gaetz, by the way, is still under investigation by the House Ethics Committee. Gaetz's position as Attorney General now gives him the authority to investigate and prosecute Donald Trump's enemies, including his own, if he chooses to do so. On the campaign trail, by the way, Trump has threatened to investigate Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the prosecutors of his 4 criminal cases. And so time will tell whether Gaetz is going to carry out, Donald Trump's dirty deeds, like if he's gonna spend his time, focusing on the wrong things, or if he might tap into some of his intuitions and maybe do some of the good things that he's wanted to do in Congress. So I wanna be fair because Matt Gaetz, while I'm urged to freak out about this, has done a few good things. And so I wanna give you an excerpt from a piece written by Lee Fong, and I'm very happy he wrote this because I had forgotten about some of the things that Matt Gaetz had done during his time, or has been doing during his time in the House. His record speaks for itself. From his perch on the House Judiciary Committee, Gaetz has promoted a surprisingly consumer-friendly agenda, routinely breaking with his GOP colleagues on crucial votes. He previously supported legislative measures to break up Silicon Valley monopolies, sharply regulate the online data broker industry, something that I'm very in favor of, ban non-compete employment contracts, and an end to the practice of forced arbitration, among other corporate accountability votes. So let's be fair to Gaetz. I mean, I know that we're all bracing for impact and we're all expecting the worst. And I think generally speaking, that's probably the best mindset to have. But we should also be fair and acknowledge that there were good things that were pursued by Gaetz during his time in the House. And if he decides to tap into that side of him as AG, should he get confirmed, he might actually make history in a good way. So let's see what he ends up doing, and more importantly, let's see if he actually ends up getting confirmed. Already, Susan Collins, Republican senator, became the first Republican senator to oppose Gaetz's nomination for the position, and we'll see if others join her. But what we do know, without a shadow of a doubt, is that this would be a critical role in Trump's administration, in any administration. So JD Vance, in fact, said just last month, the most important person in government, I think, after the president for this cycle is going to be the attorney general. Yeah, I think he's right about that. So we'll see how this plays out.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members, because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us, become a young Turk.